I'm Adam.
I'm Bill.
And this is
Barbecue and Bourbon.
All right, what are we doing today, Bill?
Today we are doing top sirloin and veggie kebabs.
That sounds good.
It better be.
And to top that, we are adding bourbon and maple glaze on it.
Yes, we are. We're using this Texas Ranger for the bourbon and maple glaze.
100% maple syrup, which is important. And we're pairing that with a rice, chimichurri rice. It's going to be so good.
Oh, if you've never had chimichurri rice, you should have it.
We'll show you how.
Let's get to cooking.
All right. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hit that bell icon so you know when our next episode comes out.
And if you have any comments, questions about anything that we're doing or something you want to see in the future,
give us a comment. We would love to hear from you.
All right, guys. We have the veggies and the meat. We went ahead and prepped that off camera this time to
speed up the process.
That's it. And then we also have our bourbon, maple syrup, and butter for our glaze all put together. We're going to show you the glaze real quick, and then we're going to jump into putting some kebabs together for you guys.
Yes, we are.
All right. So I have my little glaze bucket here.
Get these out of your way for now.
So in the glaze bucket, we have butter. All right. I'm going to put 4 tablespoons of butter. Softened is best. And we have 2/3 cup bourbon. Woohoo! Texas Ranger. Named after the iconic Texas Rangers. And then the maple syrup. All right. That is it. Then all you do is you're going to set that. Today we're going to be using the propane grill. So we're just going to set it right on there and let it start cooking down as we're starting to get other stuff going. So pretty basic, pretty simple, very delicious. All right, now we're going to start putting together these kebabs. We're going to let Bill have all that fun.
Oh, man, I was hoping you would skewer them.
Okay, now see, the cool thing about these skewers that we have is they're a V, right? And what's cool about this is that when you go ahead and spin them around, it does not let the veggies and the meat roll, so it's very easy to turn it side by side. Wonderful.
We shall see.
And what we do is these button mushrooms that we have, we always put those on at the very end, but we don't put them on right away because they don't take as long to cook as the other ingredients. So we'll set those to the side to start with, and then we're going to go ahead and pop those on after we cook it for a little bit, and we'll show you that too. Man, look at you go.
You finished?
Check those out. In all their glory. So good. What do you think, Bill?
Woo! I'm ready to start cooking.
Let's do it. All right, so now we're going to make our chimichurri. Put it together, stick it in the fridge so that it can start to chill a little bit and everything. And then we'll mix it in with the rice when the rice is done. It'll be great. The chilling kind of brings all of the stuff together, so it's important. All right, so a couple of things. We got our oregano, our salt, pepper, red pepper flakes, garlic, a little shallot, a couple lemons for the acidity in there, and then we got some Italian parsley and some cilantro. So how I do the cilantro and parsley, I take my blade, I just go like this. So you can leave it in the packages, right? You don't have to unbind them, anything. You just go ahead and take your knife and just kind of gently raise it across the top like this. And you get a nice bit of leaves there. And I go through if there's any big stems and just pull the big stems out. Little stems will be nice and tender. You won't even notice they're in there. So just go through and do that. Not too many big stems in here. Usually when you're shedding it with a knife like that, you don't get a lot of the bigger stems. Some of the smaller stuff will come on, but that's not bad. All right, so when we get all of this up, I like to get it into a nice pile, crimp it up nice and tight, like this. And then you just start working your knife through it, right? Kind of get it, nice chop on it. Get it down, turn it, push it up, get the other way. You're just going to keep doing that until you get a nice, manageable size. You want it to be about 1/8 of an inch or so, give or take, a little bit. Man, can you smell that cilantro, Bill?
I sure can.
God, that smells good. I love cilantro. So tasty. So once you get it all where you want it, you're going to want about 1/2 cup of cilantro. Like that. You're going to take it, scoop it up, go ahead and get it in your bowl. Ready to go. Just like that. You're going to take your flat leaf parsley, and you're going to do the same thing. Now, parsley stems are a lot bigger, so a lot of times you'll get more of those in there. You kind of got to work through a little bit. Pull that aside. Start pulling off some of this. Now, the stems have a lot of great flavor in them, so you just got to make sure that when you're cutting those up that you're mincing them up a little bit smaller so that you don't have that coarseness when you're chewing. But they got a lot of flavor, so you don't want to get rid of them all. Just like this, get rid of the big ones that you see in there, pull kind of leaves off. So if you're the person that's always picking all the leaves completely off to go ahead and put this stuff together, that's great. It takes a long time and not necessary. So then again, you bunch this up, get it nice bunched up, compact in there. You kind of do a heavy chop, start, get it to lay down flatter for you, right? And you start working through it. Back and forth, working it till you get a nice, even chop on it.
And you want those the same size as your cilantro?
Yes, absolutely, that's correct, Bill. Now the flat leaf parsley, we're looking for about 3/4 cup of that. Since I really like cilantro, a lot of times I make my chimichurri a little heavy on cilantro, which is not quite traditional, but there's a billion different ways people do cilantro or do chimichurri out there nowadays. So, you know, you do what tastes good to you. But
Always, you always tweak a recipe for your tastes.
That's right, Bill. All right, so you get that all nice and cut up. Again, add that in. Just like that. Okay, then we're going to take our garlic, stick it in there. I will have all the measurements and all of that for you in the description below so that you guys can see just what we're putting into it. Shallot, a little shallot in there. Right. And take a lemon. So if you have a lemon squeezer, absolutely do it. If not, you kind of pre-take out some of the seeds a little bit. And then if you squeeze it palm up with the lemon up in your palm, kind of get that in there like that. And then we start mixing this together, right? As we're drizzling the olive oil in. And don't worry, it takes some olive oil, okay? It definitely takes a lot. A lot of people use red wine vinegar in it. Since we're putting it in rice, we are not going to use any of the red wine vinegar today. It does add another dimension of flavor, and if you're making it for put on your steak or whatever, I think it's good. But with the rice mixed in with our kebabs, it's going to work out perfect like this. Just drizzle it until you got it nicely formed. All right. Just kind of like that.
All right, so we got our kebabs here. We are going to keep the mushrooms off for now because, as Adam said earlier, they cook very quickly. We're going to give them a quick spritz with this olive oil. Oh, look at that. Nothing spins on these kebabs. The V.
It makes it great for turning on the grill, huh?
It sure does. I have flat ones at my house, which basically do the same. But I like these V ones. We'll see how they work. All right, and we're going to do a little AP on these bad boys. Woo!
You've been practicing your juggling skills there, Bill.
Yeah, don't ask me to juggle no balls or bowling pins. Wouldn't help. Wouldn't work. Can't do it. All right. So these bad boys are ready.
Gotta have some whiskey.
Open up this beautiful grill here. Ooh, look at our bourbon glaze, our maple syrup bourbon glaze.
Look at that.
Reducing down pretty well.
Nice.
Already. Slide that over just a little bit. All right. I'm going to slap these bad boys on. Let's that sizzle. Ooh, yeah.
That sounds freaking fabulous, Bill.
Nice sizzle. All right. We'll see those in about 2-3 minutes.
All right, so we're inside now because we're going to show you the rice. We're going to do the rice inside as opposed to trying to do it on the grill. And first thing we do is we get your pan on and start getting it heated up. Okay, we're going to put a couple splashes of our olive oil in there. We're going to be using vegetable broth today, 4 cups. We got 2 cups of rice. It's always 2-to-1 ratio, and a little AP. All right, so you can get your oil in there. Let your oil get a little bit heated up. Not too bad. And then you're going to dump your rice in there. All right. And with the rice, we're kind of going to toast the rice up a little bit before we start doing our other stuff. So we get the rice in there and toast it. Just adds a little bit of flavor to the rice as opposed to your just regular white rice. Now this is jasmine rice we're using today, which is delicious. Love me some jasmine rice. You can use whatever kind of rice that you really like, but I find that the white rices are much better for doing the chimichurri. The wild rice kind of has a distinct flavor, that I don't believe matches very well with the chimichurri. So we're going to go ahead and go with this. All right, so if you look down in here, you can start to see a little browning of the rice. That's just about perfect. So now I'm going to add a little AP, a little seasoning. Kind of mix that up. So now we're going to add our broth in there. You're going to want to bring this up to a boil. Now it's going to boil right away when we put it on, but it's going to settle a little bit. And you're going to bring it to a roaring boil, turn it down to low, set a timer for 20 minutes, put the lid on it. It'll be perfect when you get it done. Okay, so you guys saw and heard the big boil at the beginning, right? That hot plate. Why I always use stainless steel when I'm doing this as opposed to a Teflon pan or any of those non-sticks, because it's hard on the pan itself. You're not using a really good pan when you do that. It'll warp or twist them. So
Good point, Adam.
now you use a nice thick bottom. So now we just wait for that to come up to a boil. Once it's boiling hard, I'll give it one quick stir, put the lid on it, and 20 minutes later we'll be good. All right, that's about where you want it. Give it a quick stir, make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. Kind of spin it around a little bit in there. Place your lid on it. Turn it down to low. Set your timer for 20 minutes.
All right, so we're going to throw some of this bourbon maple syrup glaze on these bad boys.
Yeah, that looks real good. Nice and reduced down now. Love it. Ooh, that looks good, Bill.
And after I do this, it's time to give these bad boys a flip. Oh, man, that smells so delicious.
So good. Oh. Oh, look at those char marks.
And I'm going to also glaze this side.
I can tell there's some bourbon in there with the way that fire's reacting.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But how long are you doing that? About 2-3 minutes per turn?
Yes, sir. About 3 minutes per turn, maybe 4, depending on the size of your cuts of meat. And I will turn it to all 4 sides.
All right, and when do you put the mushrooms on?
Probably the last 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
All right, awesome. All right, it's been about 20 minutes. Let's check this. Oh, look at that, Bill. You see the nice little toast marks in there? Oh, look how light and fluffy that is. You guys see that? Are you guys watching this? On stovetop. Every time, baby. Every time. Mm.
That does look good.
And then
I do love me some rice.
get that chimichurri in here in a little while. Mm-mm-mm. All right, I'll put the lid back on to keep it nice and warm.
All right, Adam. Well, our kebabs are queuing.
Love it.
Let's give this a taste. See if we like it.
All right, let's nose it.
Caramel, right off the bat, big time caramel.
Strong, lots of caramel.
Bit of vanilla.
Yeah, so this is 80 proof from Rebecca Creek Distillery.
I get a little bit of a toasted nuts, toasted walnut to be specific for me.
I can see that. I'm picking that up.
Like I was a kid back home with Grandpa.
And it's a Texas Ranger, not from baseball team, but from the actual Texas Rangers law enforcement. Should we mouth it?
Yeah, she's got good color to her.
Yeah, that's a nice honey color. Yeah,
honey color. Ooh, look from the bottom of your glass. Really honey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right away it smacks you with that caramel.
Yeah, that's a lot of caramel. I like that.
You know,
that'd be a good mixer.
It would be a good mixer or a good entry level bourbon drinker.
Yes.
You know, because it's not very complex. It's very plain, but it has the traditional bourbon flavors in it. But it's just very mellow, not complex at all. Lots of caramel.
Easy drink. Yeah, it's very easy to drink. There's no burn on the backside. You can take a good swig of that.
Yeah, just tons of caramel, light vanilla on the palate. The nose is replicated through the palate for sure.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. You smell, you taste exactly what you smell.
Yeah, which is not what you get in a lot of whiskeys. But this one, the nose definitely is exactly the same on the palate.
Yes, sir.
It's a really light, smooth finish, light body.
Yeah.
So I would say this is a good mixer or entry level bourbon. Great for doing glazes with.
Yes, that glaze turned out. Oh, I can't wait to glaze it again.
So I definitely think that if you're a new person to bourbon, that this will.
I would try that if I was a new person.
Absolutely, it gets you the traditional bourbon flavors.
Yes, sir, it does.
So you can start to pick that up right away. It won't be harsh.
No, it's not. It's not harsh, and those flavors they're right there.
Yeah, it's definitely in your face.
Yeah,
sure.
Even if you're a beginning bourbon drinker, you are going to taste those.
Like we said, we like this as a mixer and for glazes, all that good stuff. So I definitely think it's worth trying. And if you are an experienced bourbon drinker, then pick some up just to make glazes and to do your cooking in. It's awesome. I think it's time to turn those kebabs, Bill.
I think I couldn't get my darn. I could not stop my timer. It would not let me stop.
Oh yeah, that looks real good.
Oh yes.
Oh, you got a runaway zucchini there.
That just means she's done.
That's some good char. That's one thing you guys will find, that if this is your first time doing a kebab, as the vegetables loosen up and start to reach their cooking, that a lot of times they will start to break through or fall off as they get tender. Man, it smells so good, Bill.
I have no idea. I shut that timer off 3 times.
Well, I guess the third time wasn't the trick on this one.
No, sir.
Woo!
3 strikes, I'm out.
Love those flames. Looking great, Bill. What do you think? Another couple minutes?
Yes, sir. Well, at least 4 minutes to this side, and I got one more flip to do. So.
All right. And this is another reason why we like the long skewers, because then you can leave the handle sticking out, and
You don't burn yourself when you flip them.
That's usually important.
I have a tendency to do that.
You do?
I sure do.
All right, Bill, watch you drizzle there. What you drizzling?
This is our bourbon maple syrup drizzle that we put on when they were cooking, and now a little bit after it's been plated. Ooh,
That's a nice looking glaze.
that is, and quite tasty also. And then, just because we like layers of flavor, we're gonna put a little bit of this chimichurri sauce. I've been calling it chimichanga sauce all night. Over the top.
Bill, the smell, oh my gosh.
Yes, sir.
It's enveloping my nostrils.
All right, Adam, are you going to drizzle yours now?
Oh, you know it.
Oh.
I'm gonna try a little of this rice. Wow. Man, you know, it always disturbs me when we're eating such good vittles in front of people. Gosh, so good. I wish you guys were here.
That meat is phenomenal. Done just right. You almost need a knife.
Oh, perfect mid-rare. Look at that.
Ooh.
Wow.
That rice is, I don't even know what to say. That rice is awesome.
And with that glaze that you put on it throughout the cook, it totally comes through in this. It's not too sweet. It's like a perfect combination with this.
And then having that bourbon maple syrup leak through all that onto the rice. Oh, that is really good. That's a big bell pepper. I gotta cut that in half.
Wow. That rice. That's phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, if you never had chimichurri rice, you should do it. And I agree.
Highly recommend it.
That maple bourbon glaze that we put on there, drizzling down into the rice, that's just a whole nother dimension. So good. I had to clamp on one of these zucchinis.
Oh, the zucchinis.
Squash.
The zucchinis and squash turned out amazing.
Perfect. Okay. Now I gotta try it with.
Hey, not bad.
Not bad. I tell you, it works really well with what we built. But, you know, it's such a simple whiskey
Hmm.
that it you know it's doesn't have a lot of complexity on its own, but it does pair well with this. Of course, we use it in the glaze and everything, and I think that's where this whiskey lives. I think it lives in mixing and glazing.
Yeah, I think so.
It is it definitely, the flavor that it puts on food is incredible. Mm. Wow.
That top sirloin turned out perfect.
Oh yeah, it's perfect mid rare. It is. It's truly a great cook on that. The vegetables are perfect. It's just the whole thing came together. You guys, you need to do this. It's easy, doesn't take a lot of time,
Nope.
and it's delicious.
Very delicious.
Like you always say, where's that smell-o-vision, right? Man, if you
This
guys
is
could,
another one.
you guys can smell it. Don't be afraid of making that chimichurri either. It's a lot of chopping, and but it's so delicious. And you can even buy chimichurri in the store. It's not going to have the same flavors making it fresh, but it will still get you to where you want to be. And you can cut out that part of it, make it even a little bit easier for you to build. Definitely, if you have the time, I would definitely make it because it's that much better.
Oh,
But it is so good.
and very tasty.
Well, Bill,
I think we knocked another one out of the park.
my goodness. Well, please leave us a comment if you have any questions about what we did, how we did it, about the whiskey. If you want to know more in depth, more information about the whiskey, we'd be more than glad to answer any questions you
Yes,
have.
we would. Well, if you run,
May you run in the clouds.
if you fight,
May you fight for your lover's heart.
and if you drink,
May you drink with us.